Hello and welcome to Sincerely Elvis Presley. I'm Sean. Whether you're new to the channel or if you're a regular viewer, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Last time I took a look at the Franklin Mint set Elvis the Complete Masters collection, a set that was issued on a subscription basis. So this time I thought I'd go back over a decade earlier to one of the first CD sets that I can think of that was issued on a similar kind of subscription basis, and one that was a landmark set. At the time it came out, it was the biggest collection of Elvis music of its type that had ever been released. It was also the most expensive set that had been put out. And I'm talking about, and you're going to have to bear with me a little bit because I've made life difficult myself, this is a beast to hold up. I'm going to try and hold it up, but it's not easy. Right, what this is the original Elvis Presley collection, a 50 CD huge set that came out originally in Holland in 1996. By the end of 1996, it was available in the UK. Now, as I said, quite a landmark set this for a number of reasons. One, as you can see, 50 CDs gathered together. Nothing as big as this had been attempted before. No kind of set that put itself together like this had been attempted before. And, you know, for this price. So when it came out, this was one of the first, one of the very earliest things that the BMG label advertised via the internet. You could get it via telephone ordering, you can get it via postal ordering, but it was one of the first that you could actually order on the internet. Now, they used a partner called Press Play to deal with the fulfillment of, if you like, the subscription model. So the way it was advertised when it was released in the UK is if you bought the first CD, then you got 4 free. So for, I think it was £7.99 plus £3.99 postage, you got Elvis debut album, Elvis Presley the second album, you got Loving You, and you got Elvis's Christmas album for that price. Now, you then had to buy another 2 further CDs in the collection to get this lovely box. Now, this lovely box, I picked this up secondhand. I did have this originally back in the day, and my box was absolutely pristine. What happens with something this size, I mean, it's a right weight. To get this through the postal service and get it undamaged is quite a feat. So I've got a few dinged corners on mine, but I can live with that. And I think that the same was true at the time. I think there were a few complaints received when this was first issued, because this box could easily get damaged in the mail. But I'm sure you'll agree, that is a spectacular looking set. Now, when this was first made available, you could get it in the UK on home catalogue shopping. Now, bearing in mind that not only was this issued, that you did not have to buy, this is very similar to the set I talked about last week, you didn't have to buy all this on a subscription, you could buy it all together. As one set outright. And at that time in 1996, this would have cost you £350, which is why I said this was the most expensive music package set that had ever been released at the time. Surpassed some way in recent years, but at the time, yeah, £350. Now, that may sound like a lot, but in 1997, actually all the CDs within this were made available to purchase individually. Now, if you put the combined total of what they were worth together, you were pushing £500. So at 350, it was a bit of a bargain, although in 1996, obviously that seemed like a huge amount for for a set of Elvis CDs. But it got slightly more expensive than that if you were in the UK. So home catalogue shopping here, they advertised this set at £499.99. Now, if you took their bought it over a number of weeks and paid back with interest, you could have it up to 100 weeks. So you could get your Elvis set, £499.99, and you could just pay it off over 100 weeks. But by the time you'd finished paying for it, that worked out at £638.33. So it's quite expensive. Now, this appears a lot these days on eBay, surprising amount actually. And you are looking at high 100s to high 200s, I'd say, to pick up this set. Which, when you think you're getting 50 CDs, you divvy that out amongst the CDs. I don't think that's too bad at all. So, what did this set bring us? Well, one of the brilliant things, I think, is when you see the CDs, the spines, ta-da, form the image of Elvis from the That's the Way It Is cover. I just think that looks spectacular. It's brilliant. There's nothing like it. But what do we get with our 50 CDs? So the idea was that you got the 50 albums released during Elvis's lifetime, and that was ignoring things like Camden releases and compilations that came, things like Elvis in Demand, Welcome to My World, that were released in his lifetime. They're not included in here. They went for straight album releases. But what they did do when it came to the soundtracks, they went with the double feature series. So you get every one of the double features, which is virtually worth the price of admission alone. You know, there's been a lot of talk recently, a lot of sort of refocus back on those double features CD releases and how good they were at the time and how good they sound still. And I'd have to agree with that. Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. And they're all included in this lovely set. Now, the actual CDs themselves, unlike the Complete Masters collection that I talked about last time, the actual CDs themselves aren't specially remastered for this set. Any remastering that had already happened prior. They didn't do anything special for this. But the artwork they did specially do for each set, and it suffers a little bit. It's got a nice cohesion to it. I mean, I always thought it was a bit odd that these were issued for separate sale, because, you know, they've got the numbers on. So if you weren't buying them all, I think that would look a bit odd on a CD rack. But, you know, it needs to be in this set really, doesn't it? But let me show you what I mean by the sleeves. So to give it a sort of cohesion, you do get your original album sleeve, but it's shrunk down so that they can fit around the edge the sort of colour and branding of the original Elvis Presley collection and give you your number there. So each cover deals with it in the same way. So you are losing some of your album art in size. The back cover, you do get your original rear album art, or certainly the CD version of it, and the actual design of the set is, the banding is somewhat thinner, so you do see more of it. Inside, every CD is a black CD, and they all bear the moniker the original Elvis Presley collection, and you get your number on there. So they're not straight reissued. It's not like they took the CDs that had already been issued and just put them in the sets. You know, these are produced specifically for this set. But as far as I'm aware and as far as I can find out, they're transfers of the existing CDs. There's nothing done differently for this release specifically, which would make sense really. That you know, that would have cost them quite a lot, and I don't think that was the intention. So in terms of the booklets, the inlays, you get your basically your original booklets as they were issued with the CDs when they first came out. So on this one you get your lyrics. So, you know, it's not a bare bones release. It's not as if they just threw it out. You know, there was, to me, there was some real care. Just doing that with the spines shows some real care and attention. So let's just pull some out at random so you can see. Again, original sleeve but reduced. Back sleeve slightly bigger. Black disc with number. An original Elvis Presley collection, and the inlay on this one, this particular one, you get your lyrics. So yeah, quite a nicely put together set, I think. Just a really nice place to gather it all together. Now I think number 11 should give us first of our double features. Is that the first one? It is indeed. So there's your Follow That Dream, Flaming Star and Wild in the Country. Again, you get your original sleeve shrunk down, original front cover shrunk down on your rear cover. And then your booklet on this one should mirror the original release of the double features, so you get the same information within there that you got on your double features. So I think, you know, I think it was, I mean, I suppose if they'd have gone with trying to put in individual soundtrack albums, not only are some of those really short, but how many CDs would that have made it? You know, I suppose once you'd committed yourself to a big 50 CD set, that's big enough as it is without, you know, you wouldn't have been able to lift the box up. You know, if you compare this 50 CD set to the album collection 60 CD set and how that nicely compresses it all, you know, this looks way more impressive sitting on a sideboard or whatever it might be. I mean, I just think it looks amazing, but yeah, it's a bit of space commitment required for this beauty. But let's pull another what we got from Elvis in Memphis, CD 31. So same approach, same black disc. So, you know, it's all tied together nicely. And with this particular, you get your information as you would have had it. So this goes as far as Moody Blue. Just pull another couple out just so that anyone that hasn't had the opportunity to see this can see that what you get in. Let's see what we get with Elvis Now, number 39. And as I say, you know, this, if you're lucky, you'll get this for the high hundreds. If you pick this up for £170, I mean, your shipping's going to be quite hefty for somebody to transport this to you. I think you're probably talking £15–20 for decent shipping. But even so, for 50 CDs, to have a nice set like that all together, yeah, superb. I mean, you know, it was one of those, obviously I sold it along with everything else back in the day, and it was one of those that was right at the top of my list to get again, because I just think it's really nice, it looks great, and well worth having. So let's just go right to the end. Moody Blue, see what we get with Moody Blue. I think we've got chattering magpies and white-collared doves singing in the background today. So if you wondered what that noise was, that's what it is. Just brilliant. I really like this set. Now, it wasn't that wasn't all you got for your money. So you got your case. Yeah, got your 50 CDs. You either bought them outright or you went through your subscription model. But you also got a nice little accompanying booklet. You did get a certificate of authenticity. The person I bought this off seems to have had an accident with a cup of coffee at some stage, but hey ho. So certificate of authenticity, the original Elvis Presley collection. The original Elvis Presley collection has been compiled by BMG Netherlands. So as I said, it originated in 1996 in Holland, but quickly made its way further afield. Authorised by RCA Records, the exclusive worldwide owner of Elvis Presley's sound recording. Elvis Presley is the greatest recording artist of all time. Damn straight. Right then, right now. You also got yourself quite a nice little booklet, actually. There we go. Let's see what we says. This book and its accompanying CD series provide an all-round picture of Elvis Presley as an album artist, the greatest of his time. The original Elvis Presley collection consists of 50 albums, from his first album Elvis Presley, released in 1956, to his final album Moody Blue from 1977. Elvis was a unique interpreter of popular music, and his vocal versatility has been captured on many studio and live albums. Elvis was born on January 8, 1935 and died on August 16, 1977. He left his fans a unique and fascinating repertoire representing many different styles of popular music. These styles vary from rock and roll to gospel and from country and western to rhythm and blues. Later in life, Elvis evolved into a gifted singer of the most beautiful love songs. More than 100 million Elvis albums have been sold worldwide. Well, you can see how old that is, because we now know it's over 1 billion. And even that's a conservative estimate. Right, so this unique original Elvis Presley collection consists of 40 original albums that Elvis recorded for RCA and 10 albums with songs from his movies. As a result of the inclusion of many, sometimes fairly short soundtracks on one CD title, this collection can proudly claim to contain all of Elvis's movie songs. And what's more, RCA have included a number of movie songs on CD not previously available on the movie albums. So there's some of the movie versions and alternate takes that were featured on the double features releases. Finally, a large number of famous Elvis songs can be heard on the exciting live CDs, with recordings from concerts in places like Memphis, Las Vegas and Hawaii. For this collection, the original sleeve artwork of the albums has been used. This unique CD collection will take pride of place in every true fan's home. The full-colour book, the original Elvis Presley collection, contains many rare photographs as an invaluable reference work for the 50-volume CD series. The book paints a picture of Elvis's life and offers an informative description of all CDs, with many anecdotes. Finally, there is a complete alphabetical index of all songs with indication of the CD numbers, thus enabling you to find the song of your choice on CD in a matter of moments, from Heartbreak Hotel to Way Down. So yeah, it is quite a nice little book. It takes you through a very brief biography. And after you've done your biography section, you start getting into your meat of your CDs. So it will take you through the album and give you information on the album with some nice photographs too. So it is a nicely put together release. You know, as an overall package, yeah, it's a little bit long in the tooth now. You know, I mean, I said last time that the Masters set has been kind of surpassed as a one-stop shop on CD by the 60 album collection. But that said, this isn't really trying to be a compact. This is a shouty, in your face, up there on your shelf, look at this monster, I've got all Elvis's albums on CD kind of thing. All Elvis's albums, no, because You don't get your Camdens and you don't get some of the other compilations, but it's not a bad stab. It's not a bad stab. And as I say, you know, the booklet is a nice booklet, taking you through what you're getting on your box set. If I had one criticism, and you know me, I usually have a criticism, it's that somehow I would have engineered the box to be slightly taller so that the booklet could fit in it. The booklet doesn't fit in it, or if it does, the box sort of wobbles around, so you have to keep the booklet separate. Now, you know, from the 60 CD album collection, that's got a heftier book than that, but they've kind of designed it so it sits in there with your CDs and it's just accessible with it, because especially as this has that song index at the back, it would kind of be nice if it, it's not a problem, it's not an issue, but you know, they're I don't think anything's ever perfect, but this is pretty darn good. I just think, just looking at it sitting there with the spines, with that picture made up, I think it's a beautiful release. I really do. Well worth adding, just for that sort of, like I said, that impact of sitting there on a shelf or a sideboard or a bookcase or a unit or what it might be, and you know, this huge box set of the original Elvis Presley collection. The story of his life. I thought that's what we had at the beginning. Oh, story of his life part 1, story of his life part 2. So we kind of go back after we've gone through the albums and get a little bit more biography and some pictures. But very, very, very nicely put together. Highly recommend. There we go, look. Which song on which CD? And you get your alphabetical index, which I think is really nice touch. Really nice touch. So fantastic. Really, really worthwhile collection, put together with some care and thought for sure, and you know, quite an early example. You know, if we think of this coming out just after, you know, latter part of the 90s, I mean, there was nothing else like this. Yeah, there have been multiple sets since. There have been the 2 that came out in suede boxes. There was a blue suede box and a sort of maroony suede box. One of those collected together things, the essential Elvis releases and things like that. I think that they probably had about 30 CDs each. And there was a set that came out with 64 CDs in Germany. But this really was the first, you know, a big CD set by the official label that came out. And as I say, I can't think of still that there's nothing quite like this out there anywhere. We've gone sort of more compact, really, I suppose, in the years since, rather than a big shouty box like this, but I think it's all the better for it. So what do you think? Is this something you've got? Is this something you got on subscription? I'd love to know if anyone got it from the home shopping catalogues and paid the full whack on 100 weeks with interest. Yeah, tell me what you think of it. Do you think it's kind of, it's been surpassed and there's no real point to it anymore, or, you know, is the sort of, you know, the fact that it's such a monument that sits there worth it alone? What do you think? Is it something you'd like to add to your collection if you haven't? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you've got to say. So that's that little look at the original Elvis Presley collection on CD. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. As ever, if you haven't for any reason subscribed, please do so, because it really does help the channel. And, you know, by all means, comment as much as you like, because I do love to read your comments. So Until next week, have yourselves a great week, and till next week, take care. Ta-da.
We'll meet you again. May God bless you. Adios.